This is weird. We haven't actually introduced ourselves or what this channel is about. My name is Christina. This is my husband, Victor.
Hello.
And I started this channel originally just to document my journey and adventures of being married to a musician. Vic has been a vocalist since he was 9 years old.
Yeah.
We've been married for just over 6 years and been together 14 years?
15 years
No, I
in
don't think
November.
so. So it was 14 years then.
14 plus.
So I was right the first time. Okay. We find ourselves in a situation now where Vic is no longer in a band. And I just sort of wanted to go over the realities of what that experience is like.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand or like see the background of things. Like they see their favorite bands and they just think, man, these guys do this for a living. It must be the best. They must always be partying and always be doing crazy things. But, you know, the reality of it is, you know, with all musicians, we're regular people. We're humans.
All right, take a deep breath. Okay, so I basically just want to record this and put it behind us and move on with our lives, because this particular band breakup actually really affected me too. Like as someone who's aspiring to be a content creator, and I'm basing half of my work where either it's traveling. We love to travel, so if you love travel vlogs, like that's what I'm trying to do.
Like and subscribe.
But besides that, I also document our adventures of being on the road, going to shows, practicing, recording music, all of that stuff. From the perspective of me, someone who's not directly involved in the music business. I'm not a musician whatsoever. It's just not my thing. It's always been Vic's thing, and I'm just sort of along for the ride. So it's like, obviously when they didn't break up, Vic was kicked out unceremoniously. And it sucked for me, like not just emotionally, because that whole week was terrible, just really emotionally draining and everything. Coming to terms with the betrayal, for lack of a better word. I had tons of footage that I was so looking forward to editing and putting the band's name out there and putting you out there and showing, like, I go through as someone working the merch table and like the other girlfriends working the merch table and stuff. I'll put in some clips for you guys to see, but it was a lot of work that not went unnoticed, but for me, I just felt kind of taken advantage of a lot of the time, and it was really a thankless kind of job. Now, like me as an aspiring content creator, like I find myself basically having to scrap all of the stuff that I had planned on doing. Now, how do we move forward from this, you know? So I'll let you comment on that if you want.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like you look at what we have had put together as far as content. It goes deeper than that for me too. It's like all of the recordings that I had done, all of the, you know, professional photos, all the merchandise, everything that, you know,
the merch, dude.
There's a lot of stuff that, you know, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into, and
monetarily also
compensation.
We still have a bunch of merch in like our storage unit. That's another thing that made me feel like we're getting taken advantage of, is where we have a home, right? We're married, and there's like, look over to my left, there's a bin full of merch over there. There's like 3 other bins of merch filled in the back still. And we have some in my trunk, literally in my trunk. Like I had all this stuff for the band that we still have. Ludicrously, I don't know why we still have it. It's been at this point, what, 2 weeks now that this horrible thing happened, and to me, it's just a concept. Okay, so let's get some background, right? So have you ever been kicked out of a band before?
Yes.
How did you handle that one versus this one?
The first one, so that was the first band I had ever gotten kicked out of. So That I did not handle particularly well. I think
How old were you at that one?
21. That was probably one of the hardest breaks for me, because we had been functionally a band for probably 4 or 5 years, and when I got kicked out of that band, it was due to my weight, and it was wild to me. I was told that they were looking for a certain image
Yeah.
and I didn't fit that image.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bruh, like, really?
That's a whole other level of low, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people can talk shit about weight all they want, but I feel like in this way, it was like totally like almost weaponized like against you. Like, that's messed up, man.
That was hard. Like, that was, I think it was more hard for me back then because, you know, I'd been in that band for a long time. We were playing plenty of shows, and we had just signed to an indie label, and we're preparing to go on a little tour, and we were working on a full-length album, and all of that got cut short, and, you know, a lot of things were thrown around as far as, you know, the weight thing, and then giving me the opportunity to be a ghostwriter, and
The opportunity to be a
and it's funny because, like, I turned that down easily, because it's like, you know, if I'm not going to perform the music, I don't want to.
It's just such a slap in the face.
Yeah. And that was probably an extremely low point of my life, because it was like getting slapped a double time, because one, it was taking what I love doing, making music, and just throwing it down the garbage. And it wasn't just that, it was also slapping me in the face about my weight.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's something that I'm not extremely sensitive when it comes to my weight. But at that time, I think that's what kind of molded my views on how I saw myself. And I struggled because, you know, I like to think that I'm a good singer. I like to think that I'm a good frontman.
He is an excellent singer, by the way.
Thank you.
Like, literally. Like, I'm not even as someone who's... Oh, the kind of music that they play is...
We make hardcore metal. So it's like it's a cross between like new metal and hardcore. Mm-hmm. And
so he's very good at the screaming, scary stuff, but also watch out when we're at karaoke, because Bruno Mars is going to kill that shit. Yeah. So that breakup compared to this recent one, how does that?
Oh, compared to this one, that first breakup destroyed me. And it was still even hard to talk about it up until maybe 3-4 years ago. It's crazy because this band that I just got kicked out of, this is probably my like 14th band.
That was going to be one of my questions. I was like, how many bands have you actually been in?
Yeah, I've been in roughly 14 bands, countless projects. I love making music. They've been different genres. I've been in punk bands, ska bands. Like, I love singing, period.
Yeah.
And, you know, having that first breakup, that is kind of what that affected me. And, you know, given that around that time, my mental health awareness wasn't very big. Like, you just grinned and bared it. And it wasn't until, you know, experiencing something like that where you're just like, all right, something's not right with me. Something's not sitting well in my head, you know? And I think pushing forward from that moment, trying to get into a new band, I was still apprehensive about my weight and about how I looked. And to me, looks don't matter. Looks aren't, you know.
Hold on, you're overstepping on my next question.
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm guessing pretty well then.
I know.
Really good question.
It was about mental health, but okay. Do you have anything like for me that you want to say or ask?
How do you maintain your own identity, hobbies, and social life among my musical pursuits?
I think it helps that I do enjoy spending time alone. Like I'm a big reader. I love to read, and I love to like edit videos and stuff. And I even just like doing chores and doing laundry, like I'll be listening to an audiobook by myself. So I don't mind. I don't feel like I've really lost my sense of self. I did struggle a few times with this recent band, a couple times, especially on days or whole ass weekends, really. Like, okay, the tour, if you haven't checked out the tour videos, go check them out because we had a lot of fun.
It was hell of a lot of fun.
So when there were shows back to back, like Friday night and then Saturday night, sometimes it was Saturday night and then a Sunday night, and I'm like, dude, we have jobs. Like I have to get up for work at 4:30 in the morning. Like I don't know if I can do this. And then on top of that, we're working the merch table, so we have to stay pretty. Usually we stay the whole time. Sometimes we would leave early, like if like we could tell like a fight was gonna break out or something like that, then we would like pack up and go. But that's something else that like really irritated me about certain members of the band. You guys would play your set, and then instead of hanging around and like talking to fans and like having a nice conversation with people and like thanking them for coming out and supporting a local show, they just left. They would just leave me and like the other girlfriends at the merch table, like with no, like you never even asked me to do this, you know, like it was just sort of expected for me to be there. And that was one thing that really bugged me, like, and I didn't want to rock the boat in any way. I remember one conversation that you had with one of the members before, and he was just like, oh no, like I like Chris, like quiet, like she's quiet, she's cool, and her does her thing. And like there was like a couple, I forgot like how he described me, and I remember thinking like that is not me at all. And I guess like I just got so good at being supportive, and being there doing these random tasks for the band, that like I don't think these guys actually really knew me, like who I was, like my real personality, except Emily. I'm just gonna say your name. I don't know, like I outside of band activities, I never felt like I lost my sense of self, like unless those like 2 or 3 times when we did have back-to-back shows. And then I had that kind of serious conversation with you, and I was like, babe, I can't do these back-to-back shows. Like I'm sorry, but that is one boundary I have to draw with you, because I need my me time. I need to connect with, like, this is my whole weekend right here.
Unless it was a tour, then it was like, okay, cool. We're kind of out.
Tours were different. Like I asked for the time off, you know, and I made sure that we had time to like recover once we got back from tour. Like those were different. I genuinely did have so much fun during our tours. I love road trips. We love road trips, you know, like we went to some really incredible places. Like I'm so grateful for that. I can't give up all of my free time to support this, because then you're right, like I don't know how I would.
And I think you said it best, that it's having those back-to-back days, it's bad, it's hard, because it's so what people don't understand is it's not just you sitting at a table selling stuff. You have to be on. You have to be able to be like, hey, how are you doing? You want this? You want to get that? You want to see something? This and this, blah, blah. So for sometimes we would be 5 hours in one spot waiting to play a show. The downside to that is, you know, some members would leave. Some members wouldn't be there. And you know what? It is what it is.
If you're in a band right now and you have a merch table, you stay until that merch table is packed up. Okay? You don't abandon half of your people, and you certainly don't leave your girlfriends to do all the hard work and like figuring out the Zelle shit and the Venmo transactions and blah 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 blah. Like that's your responsibility, okay? Unless you're paying someone to be an actual merch person, that's on you. Okay, so as far as mental health goes, do you feel like you're healthier being actively in a band, or do you feel healthier being out of a band?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel way better now than I did when I was in the band. Like, don't get me wrong, try to twist my words into thinking that the band was horrible for me, but it did take up a lot of time, and we were constantly playing shows, constantly doing things. I constantly had to be checking the messages on the band account to see people trying to book us. When we went viral for that one video clip, I was responding to every comment that was made. Right, there were times where we'd be on a date night, and I would be more focused on my phone, trying to handle messages from different bands or different promoters, and then messages from band members, and it's just
because the way you were handling all of that administrative stuff, that's like something an assistant
yeah.
would do, right? Like
But
a paid.
so that's technically what a social media manager does.
Yeah.
Like you pay
You guys
them,
needed one of those.
You pay them to take care of all of your
right.
stuff.
Because that's like you're basically self-employed at that point.
Yeah.
You're doing all of the work yourself.
And that's the thing with bands. Like you start off as a business that is self-run.
Yeah.
And it's not until you can't handle it anymore that you decide to seek help. And granted, we were up and coming. We're just focused on doing as much as we can with spending as little resources as possible.
Yeah.
Because
except your mental ability, like your mental health and stuff.
You end up getting hit sideways. I wish I could say that this issue that happened started just 2 weeks ago, but no, this stems back from months before. Like when your mental health starts getting hit by stuff, and you just
that's a thing though. Like I don't know if you can tell, at least not right away.
No, when you look back at it in retrospect, you're all like, damn, you know what, I should have seen signs, I should have seen this, I should have seen that,
right?
But it's like it's not
insidious, like the way it just creeps up on you like that, and then like for me, like from my point of view, like it did kind of start affecting our marriage a bit, because I'm doing my best to be as supportive as possible. Especially, I think after that video went viral, it really kind of changed dynamics a bit. You were explaining to me a lot about male ego. Like I'm not used to that. I'm very much like a women supporting women type of person. Like I do my best to spread positivity and like support people and push people, and like I know you can do better, like you're gonna be amazing, blah blah blah, like things like that. Like I never really got that vibe from you guys as far as like your interpersonal relationships in the band.
Yeah.
Like if in fact it was just like whenever someone said something negative about Vic's weight, no one defended him. No one like said like, "Hey, we're blocking you, loser. Like, get out of my TikTok. Like, get out of my Instagram."
There was just laughy faces and smiles.
Yeah,
and,
like there was just like, what do you do? Why are you liking a comment where they're calling Vic something really sad? Like, it just rude, inappropriate, and unnecessary. And I'm over here like as your wifey, like about to like beat somebody up, and I don't know how to fight, but I'm ready to throw down with this asshole.
Yeah, it's funny because the justification for stuff like that is like, oh, any comment's a good comment. But when you get thousands and thousands, I'm not kidding, thousands and thousands.
Nobody checked in on you like, hey, we know that you're the butt of this joke, but are you okay? Like no one.
There was a few times where they would ask me, or they would kind of say like, hey, don't pay attention to the comments. But that's
as far as it went.
kind of hard to do when you see this stuff. So I kind of sent me down another hole where it was just like, the mental health aspect. You get hit from multiple ways, and it's crazy. It's hard to deal with. It's hard to rationally say I'm okay 100% of the time.
There's I guess like it's very high highs and very low lows.
Yeah.
It added joy to your life, I'm assuming, right? So as far as like mental health goes, even for me, the longer that you're not actively making music in some way, you kind of start to change too.
Yeah.
Are naturally such a creative person that if you don't have an outlet in some way, you do start to spiral in like another kind of depression. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, like for us moving forward, how it's going to affect you. But oh, actually, that leads to my next question. So now that you're not actively in a band, has anyone reached out to you about joining their projects?
So this is something that I love doing. Yes, I have been reached out to by maybe about 5 or 6 different projects, I guess. You guys will see. We'll post something.
It's not the end of Married to Music.
It is not the end. Not the end. And you know what? All in all, I can say bands come and go. Like, not everybody is going to get along. I don't harbor any negativity at all. And every project that I've been in that I'm no longer in, I wish them all luck. I wish them, happiness.
So last question to wrap it up that I have. What does this mean for you moving forward?
So I have to learn to draw boundaries and be able to separate and understand that I do also need me time. By me time, I mean time with my wife. Time for us to go out on trips, time for us to do our thing, not overbook myself or double book myself, which I did plenty of times.
Yeah.
And be able to enjoy the trips that we take, and enjoy a lot of the things that we like doing, because that's one thing where it's like, it's cool when you're working, when you're on a tour, when you're doing stuff like that, but it also is extremely exhausting.
I think I would also add, what would make that more realistic for you, like if you do choose to become actively a vocalist for a band in the future? Probably the age gap. Because so in most of the bands that you've been in before, there's been like a pretty significant 8-year age gap.
I'm usually the oldest.
Right.
And that's it's not a bad thing. It's not something that's stupid in my opinion, because it doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter.
True. There is something to be said as far as someone who's married.
Yeah.
Your priorities change. They do shift a bit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I would say, I hope if you do decide to get involved in the band again in the future, are any of them married? Do they have kids?
Yeah,
Is there a dad? Because I turned 35 this month, and Vic is 39. And we're coming up on this age where it's like my priority is a bit more towards my marriage and hopefully one day a family. Having other people in the band going through similar life experiences would be way more understanding, and wouldn't pressure you to do these things like back-to-back shows, or having accepting shows that are 2.5 hours away on the weekend, and so that's just my thought I wanted to throw out there.
No, yeah, that's definitely something I've thought of too. Being able to collaborate with people who are more like-minded and who are emotionally in a different space, so to say.
What kind of space?
Something of a more mature nature.
Yeah.
Again, not saying that immaturity is there, but it's different.
Yeah.
I go to sleep at 9:00.
Yeah.
Literally I'm a grandpa, dude. I have to take a nap. We have a cat we need to take care of.
Yeah, we have a cat, and it's just oh my gosh.
Yeah, but so it's things like that you see, other people, when, to me, to be in a band with people more closer to my age, they understand, hey,
that's the hope.
We have to prioritize sleep, or at least understand, the marriage dynamic, and just kind of understanding older people's shit. And it sounds weird because I still see myself as a big ass kid, but let's be real with it. I'm not. I'm 39 years old, and, still doing what I love. And
I feel like I'm always gonna feel like a kid.
Yeah. I don't think I think that's one thing I love about you too, that you embrace that childhood nature. And I'm the same way. I'm a big fucking kid. I'm a big dumb kid.
No,
And
dumb.
sometimes, but like that is definitely something that I am going to be a little bit more weary of. And
I think also, sorry, y'all, if you I keep looking down, I'm not distracted. I'm just making sure that it's still recording because it's turned off a couple times on its own.
yeah,
One thing that I do want both of us to be more aware of for relationships moving forward as far as bands go, you wear your heart on your sleeve.
I do.
Like, no matter who it is. Vic is like very emotional. He was raised around a lot of strong women and stuff, so he has like a really open heart. And he's not like he looks big and scary, but he's the cutest patootiest ever, right?
I don't like saying no.
He's a people pleaser. He'll offer help and not expect anything in return, and that also includes opening up our home. Although that stings, I'm much more guarded in my relationships, like interpersonal. Like, I don't really allow a lot of people in my inner circle. For me, the band was like way out here, but it stung because
they were starting to move.
You were starting to move into my heart. I invited you to my home, like. I just feel like I was led on.
Yeah.
So my point with all that is maybe keeping and this sounds jaded. It's gonna sound jaded, I know. Like keeping people more at arm's length.
No, I agree. Like I am a very open person. I realize that I do need to also understand the concept of outer circles and inner circles.
Yeah.
The inner circle is going to be saved for people who functionally are there. If you can't reciprocate and, be a stand-up person, I'm not saying I'm not going to be friends with you. You're just not going to be part of my inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be out there.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't change who I'm going to be towards you. There's just going to be a little bit more
aware.
distance.
Yeah.
There's a
like,
more,
oh, okay, that's what
definitely
you're about.
more awareness.
Yeah.
And I tend to ignore signs. And, it sucks because I'm not going to say there weren't signs. There were signs 100%. And,
damn, every time I'm trying to like I keep coming back to this same like sour topic about this, trying to make this like a positive thing, and it keeps going back to this. Yeah. What is something positive that you experienced? What was like a moment that you had in the band where like, I'm never gonna forget, this is so amazing?
Tour. 100%.
The whole weekend?
The whole week. Both times we went on tour, even though there were some mishaps the first one, it was still fucking amazing. Like, that's one thing that, we had a very strong friendship, very strong bond, for the most part. And, I'm not going to forget times like that, because those truly were times that, molded my way of thinking of how tour experience should be. And, the late night drives, the far drives. We drove 6.5 hours, 7 hours to Reno in the middle of the night to Vegas. And, like those are experiences that you never forget. Expanding my mental address book for people. And,
your mental address book?
Yeah. Like having those extra people that I can count on or call, photographers, and promoters, and all these other things that, associate with being in a band. So having those extra resources now, and the outpouring of the love that I've received, and it reminds me that, people actually care.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not gonna let something deter my voyage. And it's a bump in the road. It's trying to stay as positive as possible about everything, and you understand that things happen. I don't think I've really I probably only told 2 people about it, but I'm going to therapy, which is a big deal for me because I didn't think that it was necessary. It does help out to talk. If you guys are considering it, don't think about it, do it.
Yeah.
And all in all, I could thank you and your sisters for pushing me towards that. My sisters too. My sisters both have been pushing me, because I've always thought I can handle things on my own. Like, I'm not clinically depressed, but I do understand that I get into points where I slip into depression.
Yeah, you have like bouts.
Yeah, and this was, one of those things that started sending me down that way. Like, I feel like I'm pushing my way out now, and I'm just chugging along. I'm not gonna lie to you, this has probably been the best month for us, relationship wise, and our marriage in general. And it's like we have so much more free time, and just being able to do what we love doing, which is traveling, going to shows, and
we like literally had to plan our lives around the band schedule, and I don't know how much longer I would have been able to keep up with that, honestly, because I probably would have ended up skipping out on more show days, or like, I think that's a big reason why I started the Married to Music channel, is because I needed some way to, like, for me to be more proactive in this space. Like, okay, if I'm going to be here, I think I want to capitalize on it as much as possible. I'm glad it's over, because it did start getting quite toxic towards the end, right? And you had already been considering leaving for a couple months, and just things weren't going. They weren't bringing you joy anymore. Like, this whole thing was just kind of draining on you and on our marriage. And a part of me is glad that it's over, and I can't wait to edit this and post it and just be done.
Stay tuned for our next adventures.
So if you want to know more about the ups and downs of being a musician, if you listen to the end, leave a little poop emoji.
Or a microphone. And a poop.
A poopy microphone.
A poopy microphone.
Emoji.
That's bad breath.
Ew. What? Ew. Okay, bye.